Let's go to our Tuesday night panel with Susie O'Brien from the Herald Sun joining us live from Melbourne, and Radio 2CC breakfast host Stephen Teal in the nation's capital. I just want to get thoughts from both of you. I'll start with you, Susie, just on the passing of Pope Francis and the impact here in Australia.
Oh, I think a lot of people are genuinely very, very sad. And I think, you know, he was a breath of fresh air for the Catholic Church. You know, everybody's calling him the People's Pope. But I think a lot of younger people also identified with him. His talk about the environment for the first time. And he was also a very humble man. He had beginnings in, you know, he worked in a factory when he was younger. And so I think people would like to see the Church continue this modernisation, and particularly in the way it's handling child sex abuse allegations. And this is someone who first off talked about being very suspicious, and then met with survivors and talked about how the Church needed to do more to address their concerns. So I think it's actually genuinely a very sad day, and a lot of people are hoping this modernisation continues.
Stephen?
Well, look, when we talk about modernisation, I think the thing that people have got to realise when they talk about Catholics and conservatives and progressives within the Catholic Church is we're not talking about the difference between, you know, the Greens and the Liberal Party. We're talking about the difference between Tony Abbott and John Howard. I mean, the Church changes very gradually and has done over the last 2,025 years. So I don't buy into this overly progressive argument that people make, but he was a genuinely humble man, a compassionate person. And I think that's what a lot of people forget when they think about the politics of the church, is that the man who's at the head of the church has got to be a pastor, has got to be a shepherd for his flock. And I think Francis was that, if nothing else, a very, very humble bloke who came from humble beginnings, a man of first, the first Jesuit to ever be Pope, the first South American to ever be Pope, and has left a legacy that will be hard to follow. But all popes before him have been exactly the same. And it is a very, very sad day, not just for Catholics, but I think for Christians right across the world. And I've got to say, it's hit me a little bit harder than I thought it would too.
Yeah, interesting perspectives, and it's important to reflect that compassion, and that's why I talked about at the top of the program. I don't, you know, pretend to be overtly religious, but I've had a lifetime's experience and exposure to Catholics and Catholic lay people, and there's so much good and so much compassion and so much generosity that's too often overshadowed by the other controversies. So it's a good time to reflect on that as well. And look. Let's go to politics, and we're talking about an election campaign that's struggling to cut through, partly because of news events like this and Easter and Anzac Day looming, Susie. And also, normally you expect politicians to sort of beat a path to the cameras, don't stand between a politician and a television camera, but well, it was the opposite effect today out at Kooyong. Have a look at this.
Just want to know how your campaign's going this morning.
It's going well, thanks, Laura.
Yep.
But I am here to engage with voters. We're at pre-poll. It's the middle of the election campaign. So I'm not sure that it's really ideal for you to be interrupting that process.
Have you had any other have you had any other thoughts about whether it's okay to pay influencers?
Thanks.
Sorry, Laura, she's already declined the interview.
She's busy engaging with voters, Susie. She engages with voters like Nurse Ratched used to engage with everyone in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Can I be really honest? Pre-poll goes for 2 weeks. There is absolutely nothing else to do but stand on the street and hand out how to vote cards. She and Amelia Hamer will be there every single day, every single minute for the next 2 weeks. By the end of that time, you talk to anyone. You talk to people emptying the garbage. You talk to people with or without a camera, possibly unless you're Monique Ryan. That is a really bad look. She should be happy to get her message out. Trust me, there didn't seem like there was a lot of voters there. She should talk to anyone who wants to talk to her.
She had a lot of staffers there. You can pick them out, strangely enough, because they wear the colour teal. I couldn't see her husband there, but if we roll this next bit of vision, I hope he wasn't out there doing this sort of thing again, Stephen.
Look, I think he's probably been banned from the campaign, Chris, but I just think it's hilarious. You know, I'm engaging with voters unless they watch Sky News. I don't want to really engage with those voters whatsoever. But let me tell Monique Ryan something for free. As somebody that's been on many polling booths over the last 30 years, if you turn up to the first day of pre-poll, you've made your mind up. No matter who hands you a pamphlet, they are not going to change your mind. You are there to vote early for whoever it is you've already made your mind up about. So you might as well talk to the media and try and repair some of the damage you've done to your brand over the last few weeks, Monique.
She does my head in because she keeps telling people that she's said everything on this issue. Here she was a week or so back.
I don't have a comment for you. I've commented on that matter already. Thank you.
Do you think that was an appropriate thing to do?
Could you please get your cameras away from me?
Yeah, she's commented on that before, and her comment was no comment. So stop asking me to repeat my no comment. She's just going to repeat it. But of course, I do also want to remind people of all those staffers fluttering around there in the teal wind cheaters and teal T-shirts. They're under strict instructions about how to refer to their boss.
It's really, really important to use the term Dr. Monique Ryan. We want people to know that she's a doctor, and Monique Ryan is the way that her name appears on a ballot paper. So that's really, really important to use Dr. Monique Ryan.
Susie, you're there, you're in amongst it, you know Melbourne well. Tell me that Dr. Monique Ryan can go back to being a doctor after election day, please.
I just think that just sounds like she's up herself, to be really honest. I'm a doctor. Do you call me doctor? No, you do not. Well, perhaps that would be nice. I wouldn't mind that. But, she cannot have that sort of attitude. Just does not go down well. It rubs people up the wrong way. Whether she's trying to get remember we had the issue a couple of days ago where she had that big billboard that the publican put up saying she voted 77% of the time with the Greens, and now apparently Teal's dominated Burundara Council are saying they have to pull that down. So I think she should, if every vote will matter in Kooyong, she should be out there talking to the voters, and she should be out there talking to the media and not mucking around by whether she's called doctor or not.
I hope Laura Jays is going to be live outside that pre-poll again tomorrow and give it another crack. We shall see. There's plenty of seats to look at in this election campaign, but that one's going to be pretty interesting. Let's just quickly jump onto another issue. It's a state political issue in Victoria, Stephen, but I get your thoughts on it. And of course, the Allen government, their Jacinta Allen government, was dragged kicking and screaming to toughen up bail laws, has done it belatedly, and hey presto, it's actually paying dividends already.
Well, it just identifies that there was a problem that the government denied for years and years and years, that there was a youth crime problem. It's now been identified. They've now been, as you say, dragged kicking and screaming into changing the bail laws, and it's having immediate effect. I mean, I think this is good for the people of Victoria. Too little, too late. But, what's the old saying? That a broken clock's right twice a day? Indeed, unless it's a 24-hour clock, in which case it's only right once a day. And Susie, you've written about a private school again in Melbourne, and again these issues with young boys in particular and social media and nasty misogynist messages. What's going on here?
Oh, it's just so disturbing. I mean, parents are paying $30,000, $40,000 a year to keep their kids safe and give them a good education, only to find that this particular group of girls, there were two boys from Haileybury, one of Melbourne's leading schools, were talking in really disparaging ways for months and months and months, not only about them and the things that they would have wanted to do to them, but there were a lot of other of their friends, they thought, in that group chat who didn't say anything. So it's not just about the perpetrators, but about the bystanders who just do absolutely nothing. And, in the lead up to this social media ban at the end of this year, we really need to see schools and families crack down on this kind of behaviour. And you do have to wonder, what do we have to do to get the message through to these young boys?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for joining us, both of you. Look forward to catching up next week. Give you your last election predictions.